Hey again, everybody. Honors Algebra 2. This is our very first learning target. So let's see what we're getting ourselves into. The first example is a fairly simple one. Just states that here is my slope-intercept form, but we're missing the slope. Because we know slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So now I'm simply going to take this point that the line goes through, plug in my x, plug in my y, and that'll let us solve for m. So I've got 3 is equal to m times -3 minus 3. It's a simple two-step equation at this point. Add 3 to both sides. Then divide both sides by -3. M is equal to -2. So I know my equation would now be y is equal to -2x minus 3. First example is definitely probably the simplest one. All right, example 2. We want to find the slope of it. There is a shortcut which I will show you all, and I can show you live when we're in a Google Meet. But I'm gonna go ahead and rewrite this because I know that x, there's no number in front of it. The coefficient is what that is. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a 1. So what I want to do is I want to change it to slope-intercept form. So I'm going to move this over here. So I'm going to add 1x to both sides. So that would give me 3y is equal to keep it in slope-intercept format, I'm going to go from the bottom to the top. So that'd be 1x minus 9. Now, divide both sides by 3, which I'm going to divide everything by 3. So I get y equals 1 divided by 3 will just be 1/3. Then do -9 divided by 3. So my slope is 1/3. All you're doing is just using the properties of addition and subtraction, doing the opposite to get the y by itself. Again, there's a shortcut, which I will let you guys know. So you can look at it and do it in your head. All right, so on to example 3. Well, I thought we were on to example 3. Let's try this again. All right, here is example 3. They use what's called function notation. So instead of saying y equals -2x plus 1, they're going to say f of x, which is just it's the same as saying y equals, it's just written in function notation. So if I ask for the slope, I can see the slope right there. The slope is -2 or -2/1. My vertical intercept, that's simply right here. My vertical intercept would be at 0, 1. That's the same as asking for the y-intercept. Now here's the simple part. F of -8, all you're gonna do, that's the same as f of x. So all I gotta do is plug -8 in for x. So f of -8 equals -2 times -8 plus 1. 16 plus 1. So you would say f of -8 equals 17. Now this is a little bit of the opposite. Notice I told you f of x is the same as just writing y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take -7 and I'm going to replace f of x. So I've got -7 equals -2x plus 1. Now I just got to solve a two-step equation to get the value of x. Subtract 1 from both sides. Divide both sides by -2. And you'll get x equals 4. I did skip the last step, but I figured you guys knew that anyways. So still pretty simple to start. Don't worry, it'll get more challenging for you all that want a challenge. All right, x and y intercepts are very simple. If I want to find the x-intercept, I'm going to basically make y 0, which cancels out that part of the equation. So I've got 4x equals 16 divided by 4. The x-intercept is going to be 4, 0. Since x equals 4. Same thing for the y-intercept. I'm going to make x 0, which is going to cancel that out. So I've got negative 8y equals 16. Divide by negative 8. Y equals negative 2. So that would be 0, negative 2. So it's a quick way to graph if, notice this is written in standard form. As long as C can be divided by A and B, you can graph it that way really quickly. So you guys try this one real quick. I'll give you a few seconds to look at it. Find the x and the y-intercept. Are you really trying it? I know it's a simple process. So my x-intercept, you should have gotten negative 2, 0. And the y-intercept would have been 0, negative 3. Real quick, easy way to spot out the graph. All right, on to our last example. Notice again, we're written in function notation. Instead of saying y equals 4x minus 3a, it's g of x. So g of negative 2 equals 7. So this is my x, and that's simply my y. My x is going to go right there, and then that 7 will replace the g of x. So I would have 7 equals 4 times negative 2 minus 3a. So the goal first, we've got to solve for a. 7 equals negative 8 minus 3a. Add 8 to both sides. I'll continue on over here. That'd be 15 equals negative 3a. And you know to divide both sides by negative 3, let me make that negative. So I'll get a is equal to negative 5. But notice the question asks us to find the vertical intercept. So I've got to take this and I've got to plug it in for a. So that's negative 3 times negative 5, which is 15. So if I write my equation, that's 4x plus 15. So my y-intercept, it's kind of taking all the steps that we learned in the previous 4 examples and I'm kind of combining them all into one. So now I can use my newly written equation to answer part B. Negative 5k. So that's x, that's y. So I'm simply going to take the y value and I'm going to replace the g of x. So that'd be k. Take negative 5, plug it in for x. So that is negative 20 plus 15, which will give you negative 5. So that ends and covers everything in the first learning target for Unit 1 of Honors Algebra 2. Definitely reach out if you have any questions at all.